So now we will look at how to spin an Azure instance. In this context, an Azure instance means reserving some virtual machine space on the Azure cloud servers. The virtual machine is an allocated virtual resource inside the public cloud's pool of resources. This virtual machine as a resource can be allocated on demand. A variety of virtual machine types and sizes could be selected to be used for different applications and their needed workload. Each virtual machine will have their own storage capacity and virtual network. To create the virtual machine, we click on the Virtual Machine tab, which can be found here. It is empty since this is the first virtual machine that we'll be creating. So we press Add and Virtual Machine. And now we're at the basics. So for the basics, we have the subscription. We're using the free version of Azure. So here it's Azure Subscription 1. For the resource group, we need to create a new resource group. So for example, let's just call it resource 1. For the virtual machine name, we can just give it any name we'd like. So virtual VM. For region, the location, this is the location where the virtual machine will be located. While selecting the region, things like performance and cost should be taken into account because they vary based on regions. Let's keep this one in the eastern US since this is a part of the United States we're acquainted with. For availability options, we'll keep it as no infrastructure redundancy required. And now we go to image. Image is the base operating system or application. There are all kinds of operating systems we can choose from within the marketplace. If we click here, we can see all the images we can choose from. We can browse at different availabilities. For example, if you are looking for database, there's all the different images you can use for database. DevOps, there's a lot of options here. But for this tutorial, we'll be using a basic Windows 10 Pro. And now we're looking at the size. So this is the virtual machine size. The virtual machine size has the virtual machine, the offering, the family, the number of virtual CPUs, the amount of RAM, the max IOPS, number of disks, temporary storage, whether or not they have premium disks, and the cost per month. So let's say I want a virtual machine with 4 virtual CPUs. These are the options that we're going to have here. Performance parameters such as maximum IPOS, which is the input-output operations per second. Temporary storage size again, that relates to the virtual machine size. And whether or not premium disk, i.e. premium solid state drive for storage in I/O intensive workloads are supported, and the cost. As you can see, this is quite an intense virtual machine and it costs $121 per month. We are not going to use that because this is a simple tutorial and we're going to try to keep things simple. We don't want anything expensive. So let's get a virtual machine that has 1 virtual CPU, RAM of 3.5 gigs, data disk 4, temporary storage 7 gigabytes, has premium disk, and costs $53 per month. So let's select this. Username, I'm just going to enter my username and password. Let's copy this here. That did not match. Still did not match. Okay, let's just autofill. And for the inbound ports rules, we can set up what works here. Here we will select the RDP, which stands for the Remote Desktop Protocol that enables remote connections to other computers. This will allow us to log into the virtual machine remotely. So next we go to disk. So for disk, we need to select the type of performance that we need from the OS when we create the virtual machine. So for the disk, there are 3 different types. There's a standard HDD, standard SSD, and premium SSD. The premium SSD is designed for performance-sensitive and production workloads. The standard SSD is cost-effective option for workloads that need consistent performance at lower IOPS levels. And for the standard HDD, this is optimized for low costs with infrequent access. So here we will select the standard SSD and we'll leave the encryption type as default. Now we're going to go to networking. This is already configured for us. So we'll just leave everything here as is. We have the virtual network. We have the public IP that is being allocated. And everything is fine here. So next we're going to go to management. So for management, we can go with what is recommended. And again, there's not much to be done here. So advanced, not much to be done here. Tags, either. So we can go on review and create, but it says validation error, information required. Oh, I need to confirm. So let's go to review and create. This is going to take a while. So the validation has been passed, and we're going to create this. All right, so the deployment is complete. And it is there in our resources now.